Email footprinting. This section focuses on email footprinting, which involves gathering intelligence by analyzing email communications and headers. Tracking email communications. Email tracking involves monitoring a specific user's email messages. This is accomplished using digitally time-stamped records that indicate the exact time an email is received and opened by the target. Email tracking tools can provide an attacker with a target's IP address, the mail servers used, and the service providers involved in the email's journey. This information is valuable for crafting social engineering attacks and developing a broader hacking strategy. Common email tracking tools include Email Tracker Pro, InfoGA, and MailTrack. Information that can be gathered using these tools includes recipient's IP address, identifies the IP address of the recipient's system. Geolocation, pinpoints the recipient's approximate physical location on a map. Read receipts, notifies the attacker when an email is delivered and opened. Read duration, measures the amount of time the recipient spends viewing the email. System details, reveals the recipient's operating system and web browser, which helps an attacker find specific vulnerabilities. Device type, shows whether the email was opened on a desktop, laptop, or mobile device. Path traveled, traces the route an email took through various mail servers to reach its destination. Collecting information from email headers. An email header contains routing information, the sender's details, the recipient's address, timestamps, and the subject line. By analyzing the header, an attacker can trace the path an email took from the sender to the recipient, revealing crucial information about the mail servers involved. The method for viewing an email header varies depending on the email client used, such as Outlook, Mozilla Thunderbird, or Smarter Mail. An email header typically contains the sender's mail server and IP address, the authentication systems used by the mail server, the date and time the message was sent and received by each server, a unique message ID assigned by the servers. An attacker can perform a detailed analysis of the email header to gather this intelligence. Email tracking tools. Email tracking tools are designed to monitor emails and extract details like the sender's identity, IP address, and location. They can also provide delivery status updates, notifying the attacker when a message has been opened. Infoga. This tool gathers email account information from public sources like search engines and PGP key servers. It can also check if an email address has been compromised in a known data breach. Email Tracker Pro. This application analyzes email headers to trace an email back to its source, providing information such as the sender's IP address and geographic location. Who is footprinting? Gathering information about a target's domain and network is a critical step in planning an attack. Who is footprinting is the process of querying public databases to get details about the ownership of a domain name, its registrar, registration dates, and contact information. Who's lookup? Whois is a protocol used to query databases that store information about the registered owners of internet resources, such as domain names and IP address blocks. Regional Internet Registries, RIRs, like ARIN, American Registry for Internet Numbers, and RIPE maintain these databases. A Whois query can return the following details: domain name and registrar information, contact details for the owner and administrator, domain name servers, DNS servers, domain creation and expiration dates, the date the record was last updated. Attackers use this information to map an organization's network, identify key personnel for social engineering attacks, and understand the domain's registration history. Finding IP geolocation information. IP geolocation services can identify a target's physical location, ISP, and other network details based on their IP address. This information allows an attacker to launch targeted attacks, such as sending malware designed for a specific region or setting up a malicious web server near the victim's location. IP geolocation lookup tools like IP2 location are used to gather this data for spamming and phishing campaigns. DNS footprinting. After gathering WHOIS information, the next step is DNS footprinting. This involves collecting data about a target organization's DNS servers and records to identify hosts connected to their network. Extracting DNS information. DNS footprinting can reveal valuable zone data, including domain names, computer names, and IP addresses. An attacker can use this to identify critical servers within the network. Key DNS record types include A, address, MX, mail exchange, NS, name server, and SNAME, canonical name. DNS interrogation tools like DNSdumpster.com can retrieve these records for a specified domain. Reverse DNS lookup. While a standard DNS lookup converts a domain name to an IP address, a reverse DNS lookup does the opposite, converting an IP address back to a domain name. Attackers use this technique to discover domain names associated with a specific IP address or a range of IP addresses. Tools like DNS Recon and Reverse IP Domain Check can identify all domains hosted on the same web server. Network footprinting. Once DNS information is gathered, network footprinting is performed to understand the target's network structure. This includes locating the network range and performing traceroute analysis. Locate the network. Range. Finding the network range of a target organization helps an attacker understand how the network is structured and which machines are active. By using the IP address found during WHOIS footprinting, an attacker can search the ARIN database to determine the block of IP addresses allocated to the target. This information reveals the network topology, access control devices, and potentially the operating systems in use. The Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, IANA, has reserved specific blocks for private networks, including the 10.0 as usual Geo 8, 172.116.0.012, and 192.108.016 ranges. Traceroute is a utility that maps the path IP packets take from a source to a destination. It uses the ICMP protocol and the time to live (TTL) field in an IP header to identify each router or hop along the route. This reveals the IP addresses of intermediate devices, round-trip times, and the overall network path. While Windows uses ICMP for its traceroute command, many networks block these messages. In such cases, attackers use TCP or UDP traceroute, which are often referred to as Layer 4 traceroutes. By analyzing the results from multiple traceroutes, an attacker can create a diagram of the target's network topology. Tools like Path Analyzer Pro and Visual Route can perform traceroutes and display the results graphically, including the geographic location of each hop. Footprinting through social engineering. Social engineering is the art of manipulating people to obtain confidential information. Instead of using technical methods, an attacker exploits human psychology and trust. The goal is to trick an authorized user into revealing information like passwords, credit card details, or network configurations. This can be achieved through various techniques: eavesdropping, secretly listening to private conversations, whether on the phone, in person, or via digital communications. Shoulder surfing, observing someone from behind to see them enter a password, PIN, or other sensitive data. Dumpster diving, searching through a company's trash to find discarded documents, phone bills, or other materials containing valuable information. Impersonation, pretending to be a legitimate individual, such as a technician, delivery person, or new employee to gain physical access or trick someone into revealing information. Footprinting tools. Many tools are available to automate and simplify the information gathering process. Maltego, a powerful intelligence and forensics application that visualizes the relationships between people, organizations, domains, and other internet infrastructure. ReconNG, a web reconnaissance framework with a modular structure that allows for rapid and thorough open-source intelligence gathering. FOCA, fingerprinting organizations with collected archives, a tool that finds metadata and hidden information within documents it scans from a target domain. OSR framework, a set of scripts that aids in username checking, DNS lookups, and information leak research across hundreds of platforms.